I get tons of emails all the time from subscribers confessing super personal stories and secrets that not even their best friends or family know, but they decided to send them to me to read. So today, I'm going to be reading those types of stories sent in by subscribers while I continue the endless task of trying to mine and light up this huge cave that I'm living in. All right, we got a lot to get to. Let me read the first story. This subscriber just wrote, "Am I cooked? I'm 18 and I'm about to start community college. I was homeschooled all throughout my high school years, and honestly, I never thought I'd make it here. So, as hard as it is to say, I cheated my way through high school. I started by finding my mom's answer sheets and, over time, found the answers on Quizlet. Eventually, ChatGPT came out, and I used that for everything. My schoolwork wasn't even that hard, and probably something a middle schooler would be learning, but I still couldn't find myself to actually try. Even with books, I wouldn't even read them. I would find answers to the worksheets for the books that I was supposed to read and never did any real schoolwork. I did graduate because my mom never caught on, and I took a gap year because I really just didn't know what to do. My knowledge is absolutely fried. I hardly even know the times tables. I can't multiply anything over 6. No one in my life knows that I cheated my way through high school, and they fully expect me to go to college. I need to take my entrance exam soon, and I absolutely know that I'm not ready. But what is there to do to be ready at this point? I really do not want to have to do high school all over again, and I'm scared that I might have to. I feel really guilty because my mom worked her ass off to get me everything that I needed to learn, and I just never did any of the work that she gave me. What am I supposed to do? I really don't want to tell her for a number of reasons, but I don't know what I can do to fix this with my knowledge as it is. I really need advice because I have no one right now to help me with this. I know what I did was wrong, and I'm always putting myself down for it. But the real question is, am I cooked? Is there any way to fix this? Any advice helps." I'm not gonna lie, cheating your way through homeschool is kinda wild. Are the homeschoolers alright? Is this just what being homeschooled is nowadays? It's just sneaking AI essays past your mom? I'm mostly kidding. If AI came out while I was still a student, I would absolutely be trying to use it on every assignment that I possibly could. It would just be way too tempting not to. I'm not a guidance counselor or anything, so I think you should take everything that I say with a grain of salt. But I know the feeling at that age is that you have to do something because it's the thing that you're supposed to do, and I think you have more options than you realize. Like for your situation in particular, I think you should talk to your mom and just tell her that you're not feeling ready for college. You don't have to tell her that you cheated on every assignment through homeschool, but just tell her that you're not feeling ready for it. Maybe if you talk to her, you can take another gap year, study your ass off during that time, and then come back feeling more prepared. If you do decide that you're actually going to go through with going to community college right now, then I think you kind of got to lock in. You can cheat and slack your way through high school and it doesn't really matter, but when you get to college, you're paying for your education. You don't want to waste that. And so now is the time to actually start trying. This is maybe going to sound a little bit obvious, but the advice that I wish I had gotten when I was younger was that it's important to try, and it doesn't make you more impressive to not try and just do okay in school because you can. That was my MO all throughout high school and college, was just putting in minimum effort and still doing okay. And I really kind of regret that. I wish I had actually tried. I guess just looking back, I wish I had taken advantage of my education. Which sounds lame, but whatever. I'm old now. I get to have regrets. The secret third option is that college is not for everybody, and you can go learn a trade or something and live incredibly comfortably. At the very least, though, we at least have to get those times tables up to being able to multiply by 12. Only being able to multiply by 6, you might actually be fried. Maybe another gap year to learn your times tables is the move here. But either way, whatever you decide, you're going to be okay. Relationship and roommate advice for a millennial. I'm a 27-year-old female, and I've been single for almost 4 years now. I've been really focused on traveling with friends to concerts and music festivals, as well as with work and family for the last couple years. I've been trying to put myself back out there by meeting people, and it just all feels wrong. Every time I meet someone from my travels, they end up living so far away, and it's hard to stay connected. I got a Hinge profile, but everyone is just so weird and has been cringing me out, even in the beginning of just chatting. I really want to find a life partner and someone who adds to my life the way that it is now, but I just find everyone so weird, and it's hard to tell if they just want to hook up. I can be the type to really have my walls up at first, and I like to go slow, but trying to find a partner this way has been super challenging, and I really want to give up. I feel like I missed my window with being older now, and I find myself almost becoming bitter. My 2 best friends have been in loving relationships for a couple of years, and I'm super happy for them, but I'm just so sick of third wheeling. I also live with one of my best friends, and her boyfriend basically lives with us now, but we are going to be moving into a new place altogether soon. Don't get me wrong, I love both of them, and I have my individual relationships with each of them. But there's also times when I think that we're all hanging out, but then they go do their own thing. And I feel like I don't quite understand the line of being friends with them, but then also giving them their own space. Especially when we're living in a very small apartment right now. I'm also around them together all the time. Like they're together 24/7. And he's just always doing things for her and running errands for her. I think it's starting to get to me. I don't know if I'm annoyed at their relationship or if I'm just jealous. Maybe I need to take more space? Maybe I need to find more single friends? Am I just holding myself back? Maybe I need to do more things on my own. I feel almost held back and stuck right now because I'm just hanging out with them. But sometimes they don't like the things that I want to do. I'm scared of going out and doing things alone. I don't know if I'm thinking about this the right way, and I'd love some perspective. Genuinely, I think that you're in a similar place to a lot of people that are around our age right now. It's probably a little bit different for women than it is for guys, so I can't speak to your exact experience, but I mean, it's still pretty similar for the fellas. We get lonely too. It's just this weird time when you reach your late 20s, early 30s, where all of the people in your life start to couple off and friend groups start to shrink and everybody is busy spending time with their significant other. And you're getting invited to everyone else's weddings but your own, and people are having kids and starting families, it can just start to feel like you're falling behind, or that everyone's already taken and you're not going to find your person. And on top of that, I think everybody realizes now that dating apps suck. And this is what our entire generation learned how to date on. I think everyone would rather meet someone in person, but our whole generation learned how to date on dating apps, so nobody knows how to do it. I think I'm just venting at this point. My point is that I completely understand you being in this position where you feel like there's nobody out there, or that it's really hard to find somebody. And I'm not going to pretend to know the solution to that. I think for you personally, the best thing might be not hanging out with your roommates as much. It seems like spending time with them and third wheeling is kind of becoming a crutch for you, and it's making it so that you don't have to go out and experience new things or meet new people. And so I'm not saying don't spend time with them. I'm just saying maybe it would be good to spend a little bit less time with them. And for me, I can also find it really hard to go outside of my comfort zone and leave my apartment, go meet new people, whatever. But my adult life got so much better when I actually started doing activities. Whatever city or town you're living in, there's just a club for everything. Like any of your interests, there's people out there doing it. I think I'm also giving this pep talk to myself right now because this is something that I could do better at. It's something that I'm actively struggling with. I just need to be better at being social. I don't know, if it's the dating apps that are getting you down, delete them, get off of them for a minute, and while you're on that break, just go join a rec league for a sport you used to play. I don't know, go do rec volleyball. Like co-ed rec volleyball is so much fun. But thank you for the incredibly relatable email. I'm interested in what the commenters have to say about this because I think there's a lot of people in the exact same situation. All right, this one's a bit of a doozy. Lock in, everybody. This email is from a couple months ago, but this subscriber kept emailing me updates. And I feel bad for missing these at the time, but now this whole story has a conclusion, so let's go ahead and read it. They titled their email, "I think she's cheating." I guess I should start off with context. I'm just really bummed right now. I'm an 18-year-old male, and I've been in a relationship with this girl, who's 19 and female. I quite like for the past 4 months. I think everything's been good. We've been pretty good on communication, or at least I thought. I'm a super awkward and nerdy and dorky guy, and I'm aware of this. I told her this on our first date, and she found it charming. As of recently, she's been kinda odd. I brushed it off as just stress or something. I don't know. It's been going on for a while now. This past week, she's been finding last-minute excuses not to hang out, which is totally fine and okay, but she always used to want to hang out and go on dates. Tonight, we finally hung out and got ice cream, but after a little while, she had to leave. While we were getting ice cream, we were watching something on her phone, and she seemed on edge the whole time we were watching. I asked her about it, and she didn't give any good answer. Then a notification popped up from this guy that she's never told me about. She usually tells me about everybody, so I thought that was kind of odd. But he had a weird sort of nickname next to his name, and it was just kind of weird and not something that you should call your friend. I tried to ask her about it and kind of made a joke, but she just ignored it. She's always been super guarded about her phone and never really gave me her password, which is fine. I don't know. I've gotten to the point where I think that she's getting bored of me or something, or that I'm too awkward or nerdy for her taste. And instead of talking to me, she just found somebody new. I'm scared to bring it up because if she isn't cheating, I don't want to make her feel like I don't trust her. And if she is cheating, I almost don't want to hear it. I've really struggled while being single, and I know I'll be able to get over it, but I just don't want to deal with it. I guess I'm just scared. It's not the easiest thing to find someone who likes nerds or awkward guys, and I kind of struck gold with this one. Okay, so 2 days after that first email was sent, this subscriber came back and sent an update. So here's their update 2 days later. I didn't send an update yesterday because I just didn't want to, I guess. She was cheating on me with one of her exes. I don't know what to do. I really want to stay with her, but this hurt a lot and I don't want it to happen again. I think she just wants me to trust her, but I don't think I can. I told her that I wanted some time to think. She was crying a lot, so I think that she feels bad, but that might just be due to the fact that she got caught. I guess I just want some advice on if I should give her a second chance and help with what boundaries to set. I don't want to invade her privacy, but I feel like she took advantage of the fact that I was so trusting. I want someone who I can trust, and right now I just feel like I can't, but it's hard because I love her. Just want some outside thoughts and advice. Thanks. Dude, I'm so sorry that I missed this email, and there's even one more after this one that I'm gonna read in a minute. I just think at this point, if I were in your shoes, I wouldn't be getting back together with this person. For me, that kind of thing is a deal breaker, and I know that's different for everybody, but I just don't feel like I could trust that person again. I get sent cheating stories all the time, and you guys hear them all the time in these videos. And I just think the one theme that links all of these cheating stories together is that the person who cheats doesn't have respect for their partner. They either think that they're smarter than you and they can get away with it, or they just don't care, which honestly is way worse. That just means that the relationship was over in their head before they ever even cheated on you. But I won't ramble too much here. The subscriber came back and emailed me again a whole month and a half after that last email. So I'll read that right now. Hey, this is probably my final update, but I thought I would send this. I decided to give her a second chance, even though I told myself that I would never. We talked it over. She expressed that she regretted it deeply. She expressed that she had no excuse and it was a horrible thing to do, but that I had also been lacking in our relationship. I've been preparing to go out for around 2 years on a trip which could get me a solid, nice-paying job and a foot in the door in my dream career. This has caused me a lot of stress, and unfortunately she became who I took it out on, and that was not fair at all. We both agreed that we need to be more communicative and patient. If I had told her why I was so irritable and grouchy and stressed, she could have been more understanding, and if she had told me that I was being a jerk, I would have hopefully been able to cool it and realize what I was doing. There is some worry with the 2-year-long trip and her being alone, and I don't really want to make her wait and be lonely. But I also really want her to wait. Haha. Hopefully things will go well. We're so very similar, we both make mistakes, and we've hurt each other both accidentally and intentionally. We've been able to work on this, set boundaries, and work hard for each other. She truly is awesome, and while it hurt that she cheated, she feels like the one, and I'm going to trust her again. Maybe things won't work out, and this will just be me being an idiot. Maybe it will be the best choice of my life. We'll see. Listen, I'm happy that you're happy, and I'm glad that you made the decision that you wanted to make. But I will say, from the way that this is written, it seems like you caught your girlfriend cheating, and she somehow convinced you that it was your fault. Which is absolutely absurd. That's like the gaslight of the century. You caught her, and then she told you that you needed to do better in your relationship. And I mean, maybe some of those complaints were valid. But if she has a problem with you being grouchy or irritable, she needs to bring that to you, not just go out and cheat on you. She needs to actually communicate that that is a problem in your relationship. I don't know. I don't want to come off like I think that some people don't deserve a second chance, because I think in certain circumstances it can work out. But I don't know, the way that this went down seems really manipulative. I guess that doesn't matter though, because the important thing here is your happiness. And if you're feeling comfortable and happy in your relationship, then that's all that matters. But moving forward, I would just be incredibly careful. Just always be suspicious of people that are deflecting accountability for their own actions. Which, at least to me, is what it seems like your girlfriend did in your conversation with her. Shoot me an update whenever you want. I am so curious to know how this is going now that it's been a couple months. My parents are swingers. Okay, swinging is a term. I think it's like consensual non-monogamy. I think typically what it is married couples that switch partners with each other consensually. I don't even know if you need to be married. I'll Google it and put the definition on screen, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Okay, anyways, here's what this subscriber wrote. I'm a teenager and I recently discovered that my parents are swingers. I'm on vacation right now and I have no idea how to go about this. I'm kind of embarrassed to tell anyone, and I'm all alone in this because I'm the oldest of 5 with the youngest being 7, and I'm just not sure who to talk to or anything. And I feel really stupid for having such unfaithful parents. Like, I love them, but I'm just so scared to talk to them, and I'm very scared of how they will respond and if they'll even own up to it. For a little background, I got my dad's old number, which used to be really encrypted, but I was in math class one day and I saw a message from a group chat that I had no idea about and started reading. It was years and years of messages between couples of this secret that they had been keeping from me and everyone else that they know. Oh my God. You found your parents' swinger group chat? That's crazy. I was really disturbed by all the messages, and it was hard for me to read them, but I feel so alone and embarrassed, and now I have no idea what to do. I looked it up, and it seems like lots of couples are swingers, but I'm just so disgusted from all the messages that I've read, and I can't even look at them the same way anymore. Dude, that is just information that you never want to find out about your parents. That really sucks that you found out your parents are getting their freak on with the neighbors. You just absolutely should not have seen that group chat. Your parents are irresponsible for letting that happen. And you're handling it the best that you can. Unfortunately, I think your parents are gonna do what they're gonna do. Like, it sounds like they have a safe, consenting relationship with other couples. And other people might have different opinions on this, but I don't think there's any shame in what they're doing, but you should not know about it. Your parents sound like a fun time at parties, I'm not gonna lie. But they did hit you with that surprise parental trauma that makes you realize that your parents are flawed people like everyone else. And when that happens, you gotta remember that you're not your parents, and you're not responsible for their actions. The way that I would have handled this situation if I was in your shoes, which is probably not correct, is that I just would have bottled up all of that confusion and never told anyone. I think that if you're not gonna talk to your parents about it directly, then you should at least be talking to a professional about it. Because this is the kind of thing that you'll just be thinking about for years. But you're gonna be okay. People are into what they're into, including, unfortunately, your parents. On a related tangent, there's this bar in my city that is low-key a swinger bar. It's sorta, if you know, you know. Like, if you're a couple that swings, you go to this bar to go meet other couples that also swing. And they make really good food, so I go sometimes, and let me tell you, it is just the best people watching you could ever possibly imagine. If you're bored and hungry on a Saturday night, just go order a burger, sit down at a table, and watch couples flirt with each other at the bar. It's the best. This totally sounds like I'm soft launching that I'm a swinger. I'm not, I swear. I just like the food. Am I being selfish, or is my best friend insecure? So I've had a boyfriend for almost 3 years now, basically the entirety of my college life. And during my relationship, I've caught the attention of 2 other guys, which I've never acted on. I recently broke up with my boyfriend and was planning on talking to the 2 guys that I just mentioned for fun. The problem is, my best friend has a crush on both of these guys, and has had a crush on them for a while. I didn't care that she had a crush on these guys when I was with my boyfriend. The first guy that liked me, my best friend only started liking him after I rejected that guy. And when she tried asking him out, he rejected her. The second guy is flat out only friends with her because he wants to know stuff about me through her, and I'm not exaggerating, lol. She would tell me that whenever she talked with the second guy, it would just be him asking questions about me, and whenever she talked about her interests, he would just go on his phone or not listen. So clearly she got rejected by him as well. And even now their conversations still go this way. So when I told my best friend that I wanted to get to know the second guy, she snapped at me and said that I would be betraying her if I pursued him. I was a bit confused because he clearly showed her that he just wants to be friends, and she said that she accepted it and doesn't care about him anymore. And when I told her that I was planning on breaking up with my ex, she even brought up the idea that me and the second guy would probably end up together. So why is she upset that I would take him seriously? She's somehow fine with me pursuing the first guy but not the second guy? I obviously apologized when I knew how she felt because I don't want a guy to rip us apart, but do you think I'm being selfish by questioning her like this, or is she just jealous and or insecure? Okay, so if I've got this right, guy number 1 has already outright rejected your best friend, but guy number 2 hasn't. So she probably still feels like she has a chance with him. Even if it's kind of clear that he's into you, she still has a crush on him. And I think in this situation, you're probably better off not ruffling any feathers and just letting her have a crush on this guy number 2. And I think especially in this situation, you don't want to rub it in your friend's face. I mean, imagine how she must feel. Every time she goes and hangs out with the guy that she's crushing on, he just talks about you and asks questions about you. I get that that's great for you and probably strokes your ego, but that must feel really shitty for her. I just think that, especially if you're not looking for anything serious, there are plenty of other guys out there that your friend is not crushing on. There's no need to make her feel any more shitty or jealous than she already is. If I were in her shoes, I would absolutely be jealous of you. And then if you went and pursued the guy anyways, I'd be livid. Also, there's 2 guys. You said she's fine with you pursuing the first guy? Just go after him. You don't need both. That's crazy. Why do you need both? It feels like you're just trying to rub it in her face at that point. The question you asked was if you're being selfish or is your friend being jealous or insecure? I think it's kind of both. I mean, she's clearly a little jealous and insecure because both the guys that she's into are into you instead of her. But then you also want both the guys. It seems a little selfish, if you ask me. But I don't know, maybe the ladies can weigh in on this one and help me out. Also, I should mention that if you have a story that you want me to read, you can send it to me at the email listed in the description, or I probably am putting it on screen right now. Alright, the ore obelisk is continuing to grow taller. Whenever I do a video where I'm mining, people who are new here always ask why I do this, and I never really have a good answer for them. I don't know, it's just satisfying to me to mine it all at once. I forgot to show off the spoils and how much ore I got from this trip, but basically it starts here and then goes up through the ceiling of the cave. And then here's where it comes out the top of the mountain that the cave is under. It is just a solid column of ore all the way down. This Mushroom Island is so tiny, and it's the only land in the middle of this huge ocean, thousands of blocks away from spawn. There's also this ocean monument out here, and I kind of want to build a base on the island for when I eventually build a guardian farm. And I've been wanting to build a vacation house out here for a while, so I think that's what I'm going to do while I read the rest of these stories. I hate my friends that went to college. I want to say that I know the title sounds bad, but there's not really any other way to put it. I graduated last year, and in high school, I had a group of about 10 friends that I would consistently hang out with. They were great dudes then, and I genuinely had a great high school experience. The issue came in the final semester of high school. With all the talks of college and money, I really had to think about what I wanted to do. So I decided to commit to a small Division III school in the same town as my high school and play basketball. Tuition would cost about $6,000 a year, so I didn't think it was that bad. About a week before I was supposed to go in for orientation, I pulled out and decided to take some time to figure out what I wanted to do. I didn't want to follow the crowd like I always had. This led me to joining a trade profession. The outlook was pretty good for me. I would be making just under 6 figures a year, and it would give me the free time and flexibility to do whatever I want with my future. That all sounded great, so I applied. The issues began shortly after I spread the news. The next time I hung out with my friends, they would make some snide remarks here and there, but nothing I ever took to heart. Just guy talk or whatever. But once I began to work, most of it really started to set in. Daily, my friends who went to college would be making jokes at my expense, with the most memorable being that I was wasting my life. Having that job sort of opened my eyes into adulthood, and I think I matured very quickly, working upwards of 10 hours a day throughout the week. This newfound maturity, combined with my college friends' weekly activities of drinking and near misses with the cops, made me realize that I had begun to resent my friends. Watching them make stupid choice after stupid choice was hard for me because I'd essentially grown up with these guys, and now I can't tell who they are. I know that drinking and partying isn't really my style, but it's like my friends made a lifestyle out of it. I'm maybe a little envious of their freedom, but not their idiotic choices. They've all completely changed and now make choices we used to laugh at. The same people who made fun of me are now taking on college debt and are going to land in a worse financial situation than me, and it's baffling. While I've remained friends with a couple of these people, it's hard to associate myself with people who seem immature and need to get blackout drunk every weekend. I'm not saying everybody who goes to college is bad. It's just hard to wrap my head around having had 10 close friends and now hating them because of their hypocrisy. I love most of these guys and that'll never change. It just sucks seeing the people that you were so close with making stupid choices. I know that drinking and partying is a normal thing and they're allowed to do it. I just wish that they hadn't made it their personality. Anyways, that's about all. I guess I just miss my friends. Dude, this email is bumming me out, man. I'm sorry that your friends kind of suck. It sounds like you already know this, but it seems to me like you had to grow up kind of quickly, and you're realizing now that you're outgrowing some of your friends. Or you're at least maturing faster than them, and that's totally fine. But making fun of somebody's profession and life choices is just a super immature thing to do. And I think in a couple years when your friends graduate from college and have to actually go get a job, I think they're going to realize that it's not so easy what you were doing. I've said this before, but at a certain point you realize that you don't have to spend time with the toxic people in your life. You're at the point now where you get to choose your friendships. You're not just friends with the people that you share a class with. And if people are being super negative in your life, don't spend time with them. You don't have to. I am mad at you though, because your email is making me reflect on who I was at that time in my life. And I think I was exactly like these people that you're describing, where drinking just became their personality. I was super straight edge in high school. I was making Minecraft videos. I wasn't getting invited to parties, okay? But then college came around and I was going out all the time and drinking. It's like maybe a bit of an over-exaggeration, but I definitely did make drinking part of my personality. And now I'm just thinking about how annoying I must have been when I came back and hung out with my home friends. I don't think your friends are totally wrong for wanting to party, drink, or whatever. That's fine. It's totally normal to go through that phase of life. I don't know, it seems like that late teens, early 20s era, people are still figuring out their personalities. From what I've seen, the way that it usually works out is of that group of 10 high school guys that you've been friends with, 3 to 4 of them are people that you'll actually stay super close with and have a real friendship with. The other 7 or so guys you have less in common with, and they'll be around, but you won't be as good of friends. Anyways, it's clear that you're going to be fine. You got the 6-figure job. You're good. I think your friends just got some maturing to do. This subscriber titled their email, "It's My House." I'm a 21-year-old male from the UK, and I recently bought my first house at the age of 20. Hell yeah, congrats, man. That's huge. I have a girlfriend. She's 20 years old, and we've been together for the last 4 years, and she lives at my house when she's not at university. She's currently in the second year of her nursing degree, so when she's not on placement in hospitals, she lives with me, and she also lives with her student accommodation near the university. The thing that bothers me is that she says that it's also her house. It was my money that funded the house deposit, solicitors, etc. It feels like a punch in the gut because it feels like all my hard work from the age of 16 is not being recognized. She tells everyone that she knows how we did so well. Recently, she reposted a TikTok that said, quote, "When you and your boyfriend lock in and buy a house at 20 and 21, I'm the one that locked in. I secured a good blue-collar apprenticeship at 16, finished my apprenticeship, and now I get to reap the benefits of being a fully fledged industrial engineer. I worked my socks off to get to be where I am today. I don't know if I'm the arsehole." He wrote out arsehole. I'm not doing a British accent. I don't know if I'm an arsehole for feeling this way. I love my girlfriend to bits, and she's my soulmate. I plan to have her around forever. I don't want to tell her about my issue, as I hate confrontation and upsetting the people that I love. I would love if you and the wonderful commenters could please share your thoughts. If I'm in the wrong, then I'll try my best to change my mindset. That's real, man. I am a fellow confrontation hater as well. Much to my detriment, I avoid it at all costs. And I kind of relate to this because I do get into these weirdly petty moods sometimes, where something small like this just kind of pisses me off. I could totally see being in your shoes, having just bought a house and spent all that money, just being like, "You're trying to take my credit? Absolutely not. And you deserve the credit. That's amazing." I just really don't think it's a big deal that your girlfriend is taking some of the credit for it, or is telling people that you both locked in and bought a house. I think it's totally okay to feel a little bit petty about it, but I mean, it's just not a big deal. I think she's just proud of you, man. And this is her way of expressing it. You just made her dream of being a homeowner come true, and she's bragging about it. She's bragging about you. And you said she's your soulmate. I imagine that you're probably planning on having her move into your house full time at some point. I think it would feel weird if after she moved in, every time she said it was our house, you corrected her and you were like, actually I paid for it, so it's my house. I think that would feel weird. I just think you got to realize that this is a lifelong partnership and her wins are your wins and your wins are her wins. That's kind of hard to say. I don't know if that made any sense. I just mean that when you have success, it's nice to get to share that with your partner. But I totally relate to you, man. I get a little bit petty and possessive of my stuff, and I just start thinking stuff exactly like what you wrote here. And when I start doing that, I just have to take a step back and just be like, hang on, hold on, I'm being a piece of shit again. And then usually I'm better after that. Anyways, it's clear that you're being super reflective about this, so thanks so much for emailing in. I appreciate it. And congrats on buying a home at age 21. That's ridiculous. You've escaped our generational trap. We're all out here renting forever and you're buying a home. Hell yeah. I'm realizing now that the only actual houses that I know how to build are Hobbit homes. I think this is the exact same entrance that I've just used on everything else that I've built. Whatever, I need to learn a new building style, but it's not going to be today. This subscriber just wrote, "Feeling chud." I want to start this story off by saying that I'm completely over my ex as a person, and I generally have high self-esteem. I'm a 22-year-old female, I'm lesbian, and I dated a woman for the first time last year. While this relationship only lasted about 4 months, it still continues to haunt me. Most of my friends and family didn't like her upon first meeting, and she always made weird comments towards me and never really put any effort in like I did. To skip over a whole bunch of stories of things that she said and did, let me just say this. It feels like she dated me just because I'm pretty, well-liked, and she really wanted the cookie. I don't want to sound self-centered, but I truly believe that. She would only compliment my looks, only planned one date, which she couldn't even remember while explaining our plans to one of my friends. If she expressed that she needed something, I would offer to buy it for her or say that I'd keep an eye out for it. If she was sick, I would bring her soup, And if she was hungry before we hung out, I would bring her food. I did this because I want the people that I care about to feel supportive. She never reciprocated these gestures. She would also forget things and said that I would remember them incorrectly even after correcting her. She was jealous of anyone that talked to me, even men, I'm lesbian, and would try to pressure me to do things that I didn't want to. I don't know why I was okay with the crumbs of affection that she offered me, and I'm so disappointed that I never stood up for myself. To this day, I don't trust myself to pick another person to date, even though there are opportunities to. My friends try to encourage me, even though I'm terrified. I even lashed out at them once. I keep thinking, we saw what happened last time. Why would anybody who cared about me encourage me to get into another relationship like that again? I don't even know how I got into a relationship like the last one. I have high self-esteem. I thought I had a backbone. I thought I could enforce my boundaries. I blame myself a lot for not telling my friends how she was treating me all the time. Most of them still don't know how she pressured me. I don't think I'm unlovable. I just don't know if I could trust anyone enough to date them. I think I'm just asking for words of wisdom. I've already mantraed the whole, you are not defined by others and can't control how people treat you advice. I'm sorry that you're feeling like a chud right now. We all feel like chuds sometimes. And it really sucks because I know that phase of breakup that you're in right now where you have just gone through a relationship with somebody that really sucked and they kind of ruined your faith in humanity. Like you said, you're feeling like you could never find a person that you could trust again. I assure you, you will, but it just sucks to be in that headspace where you feel like that's never going to happen. There are just those shitty people out there, though, that know that you love them and are willing to take advantage of that because they love the attention that you give them. And so then they just breadcrumb you along and then soak up any affection that you're willing to give them. I don't know if it's narcissism or something else. I'm not going to pretend to know what it is, but I'm sorry that you ran into one of those people. It sucks right now, and you should take as much time as you need, but whenever you're ready, I'm sure that you're going to find somebody that's actually going to put in the effort for you. Anyways, I hope you start to feel like less of a chud sooner rather than later. The word chud cracks me up so much. Oh my God. Okay, let's move on. Faceless man in my dream. Okay, so I'm a 20-year-old woman who's been in a relationship with my boyfriend for a little over a year now. I love him, he's the best, he's a major green flag, and makes me feel like I'm the only girl in the world. However, recently I had a dream about this faceless man who definitely wasn't my boyfriend, and it was my first time meeting him. The faceless man was nice, funny, and definitely fit my vibe. In the dream, I was single, and my boyfriend didn't seem to be existing here, which was kind of odd. You deleted his ass from your subconscious, oh my God. In case this is important, usually in my dreams, no matter what, my boyfriend would always be in the picture, so I find it kind of weird that he wasn't in this one. Anyways, you know that feeling when you just meet someone and you click instantly? And maybe it could even be the start of, like, a crush? That's how my dream felt. There was a ton of romantic tension between us. We would flirt, say jokes, and really it felt like it would lead somewhere. And then I woke up, and I couldn't seem to get over him. I know people have faceless crushes in their dreams, and this is normal, but this is the first one that I've had in my life, and especially while being in a relationship. Usually I just forget my dreams the minute that I wake up. But it's been a good while since this one, and the faceless man just won't leave my mind. I just want to know, is it normal to feel like I'm kind of missing a part of me? Or wanting to figure out who he is? Because I kind of feel guilty wanting to know another man who isn't my boyfriend, even if he is just a faceless man from my dreams. Also, my boyfriend does not know about this because I'm worried about what he'll say. Not that he's the jealous type, but we've gotten into some mini disagreements about other guys before, so I don't know. Any sort of answer or insight helps. Wow, thanks for unlocking a completely new fear for me. Never thought I'd be terrified of my partner just falling in love with a man from her dreams. I'm not really one to place a lot of weight on the significance of dreams. I don't think they mean nothing, but I also don't think that they should be like deciding your life decisions. Also, typically for me, I'm usually not remembering what I dream about at all. The only dreams that I ever remember are the scary dreams, are the ones that are just terrifying. I have this recurring dream where all my teeth fall out. I can't tell you how often I wake up like feeling for my teeth to make sure that they're still there. I don't know what that's about. Don't read into that. That doesn't mean anything. All that is to say that I've never had a crush on someone that I've seen in my dreams. This particular situation hasn't happened to me. But I also really don't think that this should have any effect on your relationship whatsoever, and I'm not saying that you're saying it should. I guess the real question that you're asking is if it's weird that you're missing the guy that you saw in your dreams, and I don't know, I don't think it's weird. Now, I think what you definitely should not do is tell your boyfriend about this. This is just it's not worth the discussion. Or him getting freaked out that he's in competition with some imaginary guy that's perfect in every way and doesn't exist. He just doesn't need that stress. You can have your perfect fantasy guy in your dreams and still maintain your very real relationship with your boyfriend. Anyways, thanks so much for the email. I wish you much luck. I hope you see the dream guy again. I low-key can't talk to girls. I'm an 18-year-old guy and I can't speak to girls. Or more specifically, I have a very difficult time doing so. I swear, man, it's a weird one. It's like they're gonna kill me. It's a mental thing I've had for years. Maybe it's because I went to an all-boys school and have all-male friends. I think it's also a confidence issue. I don't believe in myself for anything. I've never chatted up a girl, and I'd always prefer them to come to me. A couple nights ago, me and my friends were out at a big social event. It was going great, and I wasn't quite drunk yet, but I was getting there. This girl came up to me and tried dancing with me. Man, I did not know what to do. I didn't do anything. I was so awkward, I just stood there. I awkwardly danced for maybe 10 seconds, and then she went off with her friend. I'm cringing thinking about it. It's been the case for a while, even on text. I'm not a big texter, but I'm nervous texting girls, if I do at all. I have little to no girls in my contacts. Low-key, I think my mom reckons I'm into guys. But I just can't bring myself to talk to them because I don't think I'm generally attractive. I'm scared I'll be alone for life, or at least for a long, long time. The fact that I don't believe in myself, I assume that girls don't think I'm attractive. They can't exactly like my personality because I can't fucking speak to them. It's a real sticky one. I know you can't cast a spell to make me a ladies' magnet, but I'd appreciate any advice because I don't talk to people about it, as I find it embarrassing. All my friends can get girls and I just can't. There are so many people that could give far better advice on this than I ever could. Like, I am not the guy for this. Mostly because I remember being just like you when I was in high school, or at least early high school. I could not talk to girls either. I mean, I could, but I just was not very good at it and was terrified to go to school dances and stuff. I remember one time I was talking to this girl that I had a crush on. I don't really remember how old I was. I was maybe like 16. But I was so nervous to even just be having a casual conversation with her that I was literally shaking. I was shaking to the point where she actually asked me if I was cold. Like, she said to me, "Hey, are you okay? You look cold." I guess my point is that if I'm any example, you do have to go through that period of feeling incredibly awkward in every single interaction to get to the other side of being comfortable with talking to the opposite gender. I think what helped me the most was just becoming friends with more women. It's just like anything else. The more you're around girls, the more comfortable you are with them. And I agree. I think having only guy friends and going to an all-boys school definitely didn't help your chances. But I think you're being harder on yourself than you need to be. I mean, you were at a party and a girl went up to you and wanted to dance with you. Like you said, that's your ideal scenario. You wanted girls to approach you. I don't think you need to feel bad about that. But it's little moments like that that are going to give you confidence and experience in your next interaction. But I think for now, if you stay focused on making friendships with women, that'll be your biggest advantage. Because you don't want to become one of those weird misogynistic guys in his mid-30s that only talks to women when he wants to sleep with them. And I think the best way to prevent that is to learn how to make female friends. I'm starting to cringe at myself talking about this topic, so that's my cue to stop. I don't know, brother. That's probably about all I have to say on this subject. I don't know if that's helpful at all. But I think you're going to be fine. You just got to take the pressure off yourself and make some female friends. I usually do this super tedious resource gathering off camera, but I just ran out of mud, so this is where we're at now. I really do love how small the island looks out here. But you know what? The house is starting to come along a little bit. It's doing something. I'm in a work situationship. Help. So I started this new job at a tech company about 6 months ago, and pretty quickly I developed a work crush on someone in a completely different department. Fast forward to March and I finally decided to shoot my shot. I found him on Hinge and we matched and started texting. The only thing is that we never acknowledge each other at work. Like, at all. We both agreed that we didn't want to get caught up in any workplace drama. So it's been this weird, we text but pretend we don't exist in person situation. Then, a few days ago, I was on break with some of the girls from work, just chatting, and the guy walked by. The energy immediately shifted. They all kind of side-eyed him. I was so confused. Come to find out, one of the girls, one of my coworkers, had actually been talking to him back in December. And she ended up ghosting him. She even showed me their texts. And I'm not gonna lie, that part kinda sucked because in those messages, he seemed so interested, asking questions, and putting in effort. Basically, the complete opposite of how he's been texting me. Meanwhile, with me, it's like I'm the one that's always starting the conversations or trying to keep things going. And seeing that difference just hit a little harder than I expected. But recently, he's gone completely ghost on me. And I think it's because he saw me with that group of girls. So now I'm just sitting here, not really knowing how to process any of this. Like, I'm mad at him for leaving me on red. I'm mad at my coworker for leaving him on red and somehow turning him into the version of himself that is bad at texting. And now I'm mad at myself for even going after a coworker in the first place. It's just a lot of mixed feelings for something that technically never even became anything. Honestly, I would just say good riddance to this guy. Even just putting aside the fact that he's your coworker, you want to be talking to someone that's actually invested in the conversation. I hated those conversations on dating apps that just felt like it was pulling teeth to get somebody to try and talk to you at all. It's like, okay, I get it, you're not interested, fine, I won't talk to you anymore. I think if you guys match on Hinge or whatever dating app, and he wasn't trying to make any plans in the first 10 messages or so, I think it's unlikely that he was super interested to begin with. He should at least be willing to say hi to you in person. That's super weird that he was just ignoring you. I don't know, to me, I just say cut your losses, move on. This guy wasn't worth your time, and I think you should be glad that you didn't waste a ton of time crushing on him for too long. Also, why is this guy just ghosting you? He knows that he works with you. He's gonna have to see you at some point. Now you guys gotta just have this weird tension where you both know that he ghosted you. Anyways, this guy's making me mad. Move on with your life. There's plenty of other fish in the sea. Find some guy that is actually gonna put effort into having a conversation with you. Very, very confused. I'm a teenage guy, and recently I started paying more attention to who I am as a person, and it made me realize that I want to dress feminine and act more feminine. I've been seeing women and men on my TikTok dress femininely, and I really started to get jealous of their freedom. I almost tried to buy feminine clothing, but I chickened out. I would totally do this, but there's 3 things that scare me. Firstly, my dad and brother are strong and resilient and stubborn in a good way. They watch American football regularly, and even my brother plays it. They're the most masculine people that I know, so to think that their little brother and son is going to be dressing like a girl, I feel like I would really be letting them down. Secondly, my friends are also masculine guys who are very homophobic, so there's no way in hell I can tell them anything. It also doesn't help that we live in a super small town where everyone knows everyone, so rumors and gossip would spread around quickly. And do you want to know the worst thing about it? I also play football with my brother. It's probably the most manly man sport a man could do. And my family and all my friends are football fanatics, so they'd definitely be pretty confused to hear that that one kid was acting like a girl. And I also don't plan on stopping playing football. I love the game, but these 2 things clash so much it feels confusing. Lastly, which is probably the worst, is my girlfriend. I wouldn't trade her for the world. She's perfect and so kind to me. She loves me unconditionally. But I'd really hate to disappoint her if I were to tell her to dress femininely. She's not homophobic or anything, but I don't think she'd have a good reaction to me in a skirt, lol. I feel like this wanting for femininity in my mannerisms is going to make a lot of people cut me off. But you know, I could just keep it a secret from everyone, not tell anyone, even my girlfriend. It's a big reason why I want to go to college or university out of state, so I can have the free will to dress up in all the skirts, big hoodies, and whatever clothing that I feel comfortable in. But I feel like when I go back to my hometown with my family and friends, that part of me is going to disappear, and I'm going to miss it badly. Should I just wait it out until college? Do I tell the people that I trust how I feel about myself, or do I just not pursue this at all? I feel really confused and conflicted about who I am, and some words from an outsider would be amazing. Okay, and then really quick, this guy actually sent a follow-up email a couple hours after that initial email, just clarifying a couple details here. Back on the topic of cross-dressing, I don't really have any plans on becoming transgender. I'm comfortable with my gender, and I'd like to keep it that way. It's just that feminine clothing has started to look more pleasing and comfortable to me as of recently. Another thing about my family is that they're kinda nosy. I'd have little to nowhere to hide my clothing, if I had any in the first place. My mom could walk into my room when I'm not there, needing a hoodie for her to wear, and then suddenly she's staring at a random dress in my closet. This goes for my sister too. She walks into my room when I'm not there and looks through my closet. So either I'd have to ask someone to hide my clothing for me, or hide it outside my house, or just not cross-dress in the first place until college. I've really considered that cross-dressing in college would be my go-to since there's going to be no one that would know me. But anyways, I ended my last email like I was lamenting about this, and I kind of am. And I think it could get some more consideration at a better time. This is maybe going to sound like a bit of a cop-out, but I think I'm definitely going to need some help from the comments on this one. Mostly because I dress about as straight and white as you could possibly dress. There's just absolutely no fashion sense going on here. But also because the last time that I read a story like this one, where a guy was wanting to present more feminine, but wasn't sure how his community would receive it, I said something along the lines of like, hell yeah, go for it, man, you do you. I don't know, whatever mid-ass take I usually have in these videos. And I caught a lot of flack from people that were saying that that was an unsafe recommendation to make. There were commenters saying that presenting that way can put someone in genuine danger if they're in the wrong environment. And so I'm totally supportive of you. I think you should absolutely live authentically. Everybody should, otherwise you're just miserable. But I think you need to go about it in whatever way is safest for you. And if your gut is telling you that you should wait until college to dress the way that you want, and you're comfortable doing that, then I think that's probably what you should do. But thank you so much for the email. I'm sorry that I'm kind of dodging the question here, but I'm hoping that there are some people in the comments that have more experience with this and can help you out. I'm broke. I'm not really sure how to start this. I've never really written into any anonymous confession things before, but I do have an issue that I think other people might relate to. I have a friend group with 4 people, including myself. My issue is I'm broke. I have a job, but at the moment I'm in credit card debt, and everything I make at work goes straight to my credit card. But my friends keep wanting to hang out with me. I know that's not something that I should complain about. I appreciate my friends and having them around, but every time we hang out, I spend more money. We do free stuff sometimes, like go to the park or drive around, but I'm the only one with a reliable car, so I have to give everybody a ride, and I pay for gas. I thought about asking them for like $5 to $10 each to help me pay for gas when we hang out, but that just feels shitty. I don't want to say no to them when they invite me to hang out, because I do want to see them, and I don't really want to become a shut-in, but I'm worried that I will never get out of debt if I keep spending money when we hang out. Whether it's going out to eat, doing an activity, or shopping, I'm just always spending money. I also don't want to make them just sit at my house with me or pay for my stuff. I don't know. Thanks for reading. Dude, I completely understand where you're coming from. I've got some friends with very expensive taste, and I love them. They're the best. But whenever we're hanging out, we're going to like these swanky bars and restaurants, dropping a bunch of money on stuff that we could have eaten anywhere. And I have the exact same policy as you. I care about my friends and I want to hang out with them, so I spend the money. And I'm okay with doing that, but it does add up over time if you're not paying attention. But in your case, you're in credit card debt. That's gotta be your number one priority. Credit card debt can be a nightmare and it can snowball. You gotta get that paid off as soon as you can. And your friends aren't gonna want to stop hanging out with you just because you ask them for gas money. They'll absolutely understand. They know that you're doing them a favor by giving them a ride. And they're also not gonna stop hanging out with you because you don't do every single thing that they do. I think your finances gotta come first. And so if that means saying no to a couple hangouts where they're doing something where you're gonna have to spend a lot of money to be with them, you can stay in that night. Anyways, thanks so much for the email. I think you are right. I think a lot of people do relate to this kind of thing. Friends are temporary. Money is forever. It's so stupid. Okay, so the last video where I read subscriber stories, I got an email from somebody who had gotten herpes from their boyfriend, but their boyfriend hadn't told them that he had herpes in the first place. And so they actually emailed me back with an update to the situation. And so I just thought I'd keep everybody in the loop and read that super quick. Thank you so much for reading my story. It's really helped me a lot with my view of the situation, and I feel a lot less dread about it. It's been about a day, and I've seen a lot of support from the comments under your video. I did leave that guy, and I did so before I knew I could take legal action against him for giving me an STD without me knowing. Ultimately, he's so far removed from my life now that I would rather keep my distance from him, as he now lives another state away. At the same time, I've seen these lovely things from people under your video. A close friend of mine shared that she knew a girl with herpes who was not me, but when my friend shared this and learned that I had talked to her that day, she suddenly became worried that I had somehow given it to her by touch just from speaking to another girl from across the street. The same way that I wasn't taught about STDs, I guess she wasn't taught either. I'm making efforts to educate myself on the subject because a lot has changed for me, especially with all my future relationships. Thank you all so much again. I'm so glad that you broke up with that douchebag. I was very invested in you getting as far away from him as you possibly could. Thank you so much for sending in that update, and thank you so much to the commenters who left super nice comments on the last video about that story. I'm super lucky, and I always say this, but I think that I have the best comment section on YouTube. These subscribers are being super vulnerable and sharing their stories, and you guys are always nice and give helpful advice. Especially because I'm wrong half the time, and the comments just give better advice than I do. Anyways, let me stop glazing the commenters here. Okay, you guys are good. Let's not get too high on our horses, all right? Anyways, thank you for sending in the update. I'm glad we can close the book on this one. All right, it's mostly done. Let's take a look and see what we got here. Yeah, I like it. It's okay. I'm definitely out of my comfort zone building this modern style house or whatever this is supposed to be. At least the mushrooms like it. I tried to do some shading here around the edges so that it wasn't all just the same type of block. I think slowly but surely I'm getting better at building. I'm just trying to pick up little tricks here and there. I do need to get better at making interiors. What is this guy doing? Anyways, I try not to compare myself to the insane builders that you see on YouTube, but hopefully I'm improving a little bit. We have a small mushroom garden out back here. I really like the way the small amethyst buds look with the mycelium. Also got a portal all linked up to the nether roof, so finally it's not going to be a hassle to get out here again. But that's all the subscriber stories in Minecraft that I've got for you today. Thank you so much to the proud few of you who are channel members. You're a motley crew. You really don't have to, but I very much appreciate it. I don't really think I put out enough content to justify having a membership program, but I was thinking about what I could offer in return for you becoming a member, and I've decided that if you become a member, you get your name put on a block on the ore obelisk. And once your name's on there, I won't mind that block anymore. It'll just be there forever. At the very least, it'll be good rage bait for the people who really want me to mine this thing. Anyways, I'm super behind on this video, and I need to go finish editing it, so I'm gonna go. Okay, bye.